Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Failure. Just hearing the word can stir a mix of emotions, fear, doubt, even a sense of defeat. It's a concept so many of us go to great lengths to avoid, yet it is also an inevitable part of life and growth. But what if failure wasn't the enemy we believe it to be? What if instead it was a stepping stone to something greater? Simon Sinek reminds us that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. This perspective shifts the way we see failure, not as a dead end, but as a critical part of the journey toward achieving our goals. Today, we'll explore the ways we can change our relationship with failure, turn fear into courage, and use every setback as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Together, we'll learn how to embrace failure, not as something to fear, but as a tool for building the life we truly want to live. Redefining failure as a transformative mindset shift that can fundamentally change how you approach challenges, setbacks, and opportunities in life. For many people, failure is seen as a negative, something to be avoided at all costs. It often carries a sense of shame, disappointment, or inadequacy, leading individuals to shy away from risks or new experiences. However, when you redefine failure as a valuable learning experience rather than a personal shortcoming, it opens the door to growth, resilience, and self-discovery. This change in perspective is not only empowering, but also essential for achieving success and fulfillment. The traditional view of failure is rooted in societal norms and expectations that place a high value on success and perfection. From a young age, many of us are taught that mistakes are bad and that failing reflects poorly on our abilities or worth. This belief can lead to a fear of failure that stifles creativity, innovation, and ambition. People may choose to stay within their comfort zones, avoiding situations where failure is a possibility, even if it means missing out on growth opportunities. This mindset creates a cycle of stagnation, where fear prevents action, and inaction reinforces the fear. Redefining failure begins with challenging these deeply ingrained beliefs. It requires acknowledging that failure is not the opposite of success, but an integral part of the journey toward it. Every successful person has experienced failure in some form, and these experiences have often been pivotal in shaping their achievements. By understanding that failure is a natural and necessary part of life, you can begin to see it as a teacher rather than an adversary. Each failure provides valuable insights, lessons, and opportunities for improvement that can help you move closer to your goals. One way to shift your perspective on failure is to reframe it as feedback rather than a final verdict. When you approach failure with curiosity and a willingness to learn, it becomes a source of information that can guide your next steps. For example, if a project doesn't go as planned, instead of labeling it a failure, you can analyze what went wrong, what could have been done differently, and what you can take away from the experience. This process transforms failure into a constructive experience that builds knowledge, skills, and resilience. Another important aspect of redefining failure is recognizing the difference between failing at a task and being a failure as a person. Many people internalize their failures, believing that a mistake or setback reflects their worth or abilities. This mindset is both damaging and untrue. Failing at something does not diminish your value as an individual. It simply means that a particular approach or effort did not yield the desired result. By separating your identity from your outcomes, you can approach challenges with greater confidence and self-compassion, knowing that your worth is not determined by your successes or failures. Adopting a growth mindset is also crucial for redefining failure. A growth mindset, a concept popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. People with a growth mindset see failure as an opportunity to grow and improve, rather than as a fixed indicator of their capabilities. This perspective encourages experimentation, risk-taking, and persistence, all of which are essential for achieving long-term success. With a growth mindset, you can view each failure as a step forward, bringing you closer to your goals. One practical way to redefine failure is to set process-oriented goals rather than outcome-oriented goals. While it's natural to aim for specific results, focusing solely on outcomes can create pressure and fear of failure. Instead, emphasize the effort, learning, and growth involved in the process. For instance, if you're working on a challenging project, set goals related to the skills you want to develop, the steps you want to complete, or the insights you hope to gain. By valuing the process over the outcome, you can appreciate the progress you make, even if the end result isn't exactly as planned. It's also helpful to normalize and share stories of failure. Many successful individuals openly discuss their failures and the lessons they've learned from them, demonstrating that setbacks are a universal and essential part of the journey. By talking about failure in a positive and constructive way, you can reduce its stigma and create a supportive environment where others feel encouraged to take risks and learn from their experiences. Whether it's in personal conversations, professional settings, or public forums, sharing stories of failure fosters a culture of resilience, growth, and innovation. Another key aspect of redefining failure is practicing self-compassion. When you experience a setback, it's easy to be overly critical of yourself, focusing on what went wrong or what you could have done better. However, this self-criticism can be counterproductive, leading to feelings of frustration, doubt, or discouragement. Instead, treat yourself with kindness and understanding, acknowledging that failure is a natural part of life and that you're doing your best. Self-compassion allows you to recover from setbacks more quickly and approach future challenges with a positive mindset. Perspective is also important when it comes to redefining failure. Consider the bigger picture and the long-term impact of the setback you're facing. Many failures that feel significant in the moment are less consequential over time, and the lessons you learn from them often outweigh the initial disappointment. By taking a step back and looking at the situation objectively, you can gain a clearer understanding of its true significance and how it fits into your overall journey. This perspective can help you move forward with confidence and optimism. Ultimately, redefining failure is about embracing the idea that setbacks are opportunities for growth, learning, and self-improvement. It's about shifting from a fear-based mindset to one of curiosity, resilience, and possibility. When you view failure through this lens, you unlock the potential to take bold steps, try new things, and pursue your dreams without hesitation. Each failure becomes a stepping stone, bringing you closer to your goals and helping you become the best version of yourself. By changing your relationship with failure, you can transform it from a source of fear into a catalyst for success. Redefining failure is one of the most transformative shifts in mindset a person can make. It allows you to see challenges and setbacks not as the end of the road, but as an integral part of personal and professional growth. From an early age, we are conditioned to view failure as a negative outcome, something to avoid or fear. It is often tied to feelings of inadequacy, disappointment, or even shame, which can deter individuals from taking risks or pursuing ambitious goals. However, this limited perspective on failure often prevents people from reaching their full potential. By redefining failure, you empower yourself to move beyond fear, embrace mistakes, and leverage setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning. The root of the fear of failure often lies in societal and cultural norms that equate success with perfection and failure with inadequacy. Many people grow up in environments where achievements are celebrated and mistakes are criticized, creating a mindset that mistakes are to be avoided at all costs. This mindset can stifle creativity, limit ambition, and create a reluctance to step outside of comfort zones. However, it is important to recognize that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of the process of achieving success. Every major breakthrough, whether in science, business, or personal development, has been preceded by numerous failed attempts. Each of those failures contributes to the learning and growth necessary to ultimately succeed. Redefining failure begins with understanding that it is not a reflection of your worth as a person. Too often, individuals internalize their failures, believing that a setback in one area defines their overall value or capability. This belief is not only untrue, but also harmful. Failing at a specific task or goal does not mean you are a failure. It simply means that a particular attempt did not work out as planned. By separating your identity from the outcomes of your efforts, you can approach challenges with greater confidence and self-compassion. This shift in perspective allows you to take risks, try new things, and pursue ambitious goals without the fear of being diminished by setbacks. One of the most effective ways to redefine failure is to view it as a learning experience rather than a final outcome. Each failure provides valuable feedback that can guide your next steps and help you improve. For instance, if a project at work does not succeed, you can analyze the situation to identify what went wrong, what could have been done differently, and what lessons can be applied to future efforts. This process transforms failure into a source of insight and growth, making it a constructive part of your journey rather than a roadblock. Reframing failure as feedback also involves embracing a mindset of curiosity and exploration. When you approach challenges with the understanding that mistakes are a natural part of learning, you become more open to experimentation and innovation. This mindset is particularly important in creative and entrepreneurial endeavors, where success often requires trying multiple approaches before finding the right one. For example, many successful entrepreneurs and inventors have faced numerous failures before achieving their breakthroughs. Their willingness to learn from each setback and keep moving forward was a key factor in their eventual success. Another important aspect of redefining failure is setting realistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations can create unnecessary pressure and increase the fear of failure. By acknowledging that setbacks are a normal part of any journey, you can focus on progress rather than perfection. This perspective allows you to celebrate small victories, recognize incremental improvements, and appreciate the effort you put into your goals, even if the outcome is not exactly as you envisioned. It also helps you maintain motivation and resilience, knowing that each step forward, regardless of the outcome, brings you closer to your aspirations. Building resilience is a crucial component of redefining failure. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks and continue pursuing your goals with determination and optimism. It involves developing the mental and emotional strength to face challenges head-on and learn from them. One way to build resilience is by practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion. When you experience a failure, it is easy to be critical of yourself and focus on what went wrong. However, self-compassion allows you to acknowledge your efforts, recognize that mistakes are a normal part of life, and treat yourself with kindness and understanding. This approach helps you recover more quickly from setbacks and maintain a positive outlook. It is also important to surround yourself with a supportive community that encourages growth and learning. Sharing your experiences of failure with others can reduce the stigma and isolation often associated with setbacks. When you openly discuss your challenges and the lessons you've learned, you create an environment where others feel empowered to do the same. This culture of openness and support fosters collaboration, innovation, and collective growth. It also reminds you that you are not alone in facing challenges, and that failure is a shared experience that can bring people together. Another way to redefine failure is to focus on process-oriented goals rather than outcome-oriented goals. While it is natural to aim for specific results, placing too much emphasis on outcomes can create pressure and increase the fear of failure. By shifting your focus to the process, the steps you take, the effort you put in, and the skills you develop, you can find value and meaning in the journey itself. This approach allows you to appreciate the growth and learning that occur along the way, regardless of the final result. Perspective is a powerful tool for redefining failure. When faced with a setback, it is helpful to take a step back and consider the bigger picture. Ask yourself, how significant is this failure in the context of my overall journey? What can I learn from this experience? How can I use this setback as a stepping stone to future success? By reframing failure in this way, you can see it not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity to grow stronger and more resilient. Finally, redefining failure involves embracing a growth mindset. The belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. A growth mindset encourages you to see challenges as opportunities for improvement rather than threats to your competence. It allows you to approach setbacks with curiosity, determination, and a willingness to learn. With a growth mindset, failure becomes a natural and valuable part of the learning process, helping you build the skills and knowledge needed to achieve your goals. When you redefine failure, you unlock the ability to take risks, pursue your passions, and achieve your dreams without being held back by fear. This shift in mindset transforms setbacks into stepping stones, allowing you to move forward with confidence and purpose. Each failure becomes a lesson, a source of growth, and a catalyst for success, helping you reach new heights and realize your full potential.